Another episode of Off the Record Live. We are coming to you straight from Starstruck Entertainment here on Music Row in Nashville. And this is actually our first episode of the new year, so Happy New Year to everybody. And if you want to see more of these shows that we're doing, just hit the subscribe button below and you'll get notifications and you'll be able to check everything out. Like something with our first guest, who I'm so excited to have here, the oh-so-talented Joe Nichols. Welcome, Joe.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. Yes.
How's 2022 kicked off for you so far?
Very slowly, very slowly. I got a lot of, I climbed in a serious mountain or a serious hole after Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners. So
right?
it's been slow going at the gym trying to get everything back to normal, but it's good.
New Year's resolution.
That's
getting
right,
back into it, yeah. So this is going to be an hour with Joe. We're going to have him for an hour, and we're going to talk all things Joe, all things music. You've got a new album coming out, Good Day for Living, February 11th, so check it out. And if you guys have any questions for him throughout that hour, just write them in the comments section. And we've got Catherine here. She's our moderator. She's going to be sending the questions to us. We'll get them to Joe, and hopefully you can answer some of these questions for them.
Hopefully I can. I do not know who killed Kennedy, though, so let's just get that out of the way.
Don't ask that one.
I don't know who Grassy Knoll guy was.
Well, maybe we'll find out throughout this interview. You don't know. But we're going to do things a little different this time. What we normally do is talk to our guests, and then they perform towards the end of the show. But you're going to kick it off with a performance. You can do a couple songs from the new album?
We will do some songs from the new album, yeah. That is available February 11th, right before Valentine's Day.
See, get it?
Right
nice
there.
plug.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so without further ado, we're going to have Brian come in. He's going to play guitar, and here is Joe Nichols, everybody.
All right. This is Brian Spradlin. He paints houses.
I do.
He doesn't kill people. He paints houses.
Are you ready?
I want to play our brand new single that released to the radio next Monday. It's also the title track of this album. It's called Good Day for Living. The little place is a little bit understated, yet OJ's always concentrated. AC's broke, so we gotta sleep naked. It's a good day for living. Swear all my jeans got holes in the pockets. Yeah, the money falls out as soon as I start walking. Good thing the sunshine don't cost nothing. It's a good day for living. Living it up, living it right, living each day one day at a time. Ain't making no worry no bigger than it is when it isn't. Yeah, I'm thinking I wanna wake up and do it for the love. Glass half full when I fill the rest up. Gonna take a sweet sip of whatever life's fixing. It's a good day for living. Every day. She's got a cool tattoo of Rosie the Riveter. If there's a good time, good chance she's in it first. Any day that I get to kissing her's a good day for living. We sneak into a motel pool at 4 a.m. and every time she smiles I say amen. One hell of a good staycation. It's a good day for living. Living it up, living it right, living each day one day at a time. Ain't making no worry no bigger than it is when it isn't. Yeah, I'm thinking I wanna wake up and do it for the love. Glass half full, wanna fill the rest up. Gonna take a sweet sip of whatever life's fixing. It's a good day for living. It's a wild ride, but we all got a ticket check. Goes by quick, if you blink, you'll miss it. Tomorrow's always short on specifics, but it's a good day for living. Living it up, living it right, living each day one day at a time. Ain't making no worry no bigger than it is when it isn't. Yeah, I'm thinking I wanna wake up and do it for the love. Glass half full, wanna fill the rest up. Gonna take a sweet sip of whatever life's fixing. It's a good day for living. Oh, it's a good day. Good day for living. Woo. All right. Thank y'all very much. title track of the new album, Good Day for Living, which I think we're going to play a couple of more from. Let's play this. We got a duet with Blake Shelton on this record, and I think Blake and I have been talking over the years, many, many years. We've known each other for about 23, 24 years now. We've never gotten a chance to do something together on a record, so reached out to him when I found this song, and he said, why not? So we got it on this album. It's a fun song called Friends That Do. I met Jimmy on a bar stool, listening to old school country. They were playing them all. Met a buddy down in Key West, met him on the weekend fishing. Now they're up on a wall. He says it's all about who you know. Well, I've got friends everywhere I go. Ain't got a boat on a lake I can park on the water. For a 401k that I built from the bottom. One of those credit cards that can buy this bar a round or two. But I've got friends that do. Yep. Here comes Blake Shelton's part. I called on a Friday to get a little sideways. Always skip the line at the door. It's my best I can do. We end up on a bender, 'cause he knows a bartender. That's why we don't pay anymore. He says it's all about who you know. Well, I've got friends everywhere I go. Ain't got a boat on a lake I can park on the water. For a 401k that I built from the bottom. One of those credit cards that can buy this bar a round or two. Ain't got a house on a hill for a poolside party. No tickets to the game I could use come Sunday. Ain't got a pickup truck that can haul in stuff when I need to. But I've got friends that do. Yeah, I got some friends that do. Thank you, Blake, for doing this song with me. Ain't got a boat on a lake I can park on the water. A 401k that I built from the bottom. One of those credit cards that can buy this bar a round or two. Ain't got a house on a hill for a poolside party. No tickets to the game I could use come Sunday. Ain't got a pickup truck for all this stuff when I need to. But I've got friends that do. Yeah, I got some friends that do. Yeah, I got friends that do. All the time. That is, there you go. That is on the new album. Again, comes out February 11th, right before Valentine's Day. And thank you very much for listening today. Thank you for watching. And I want to do one more song, if that's all right, from the new album. One more new. And this is kind of, it's a Chris Janson song. He actually had this on his album in 2017, I think was a year. And loved it then, loved it while we were cutting this album. We wanted some meat on this record, something with a lot of depth and a lot of meaning. And this song's called Hawaii on Me. I love the fact that you can talk about a serious subject in a lighthearted way and kind of have a good attitude about it. So, well-written song, Chris Janson, good job. This is called Hawaii on Me. Someday when I die, you're gonna cry. Well, hopefully I'll be on up in the sky. And I don't spend my money on a box in a hole. That might be my body, but that ain't my soul. Put your feet in the sand, buy you a coat, raise it on up, crack a good joke. Tiptoes in the water and ashes to sea. When I die, go to Wyoming. Have the time of your life. Go on and blow it on out. Throw one big party at a big penthouse overlooking the bay of Waikiki. Y'all, when I die, go to Wyoming. Put your feet in the sand, buy you a coat, raise it on up, crack a good joke. Tiptoes in the water and ashes to sea. When I die, go to Wyoming. I've made a good living, I lived a good life. I raised some great kids, I loved a great wife. So get on a plane in a first class seat. Y'all, when I die, go to Wyoming. Y'all, when I die, go to Wyoming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. We are coming to you with Joe Nichols live from Starstruck Entertainment here on Music Row. And just before the break, you saw Joe perform 3 songs from the live album. That was fantastic. Thanks for doing that.
Thank you very much.
So if you want to ask him questions, we've got him now. We're going to talk to him for about 45 more minutes. So put them in the comments, and we'll get them to him, and we'll ask. But we're going to start off how we normally do is icebreakers.
Okay.
And they're just random questions just to get to know you a little better, keep things loose, and,
All right.
and break the ice, if you will.
Sounds good.
Hence
okay.
the icebreakers name. Okay, so you ready for me?
I'm ready.
Okay. What are you binge watching?
Binge watching at the moment Ozark.
The new season?
Yeah.
I haven't started that yet, but I'm waiting. Morning person or night person?
The older I get, the more morning person I'm becoming. Yeah.
Right? You can't sleep in the mornings
Right.
anymore.
Well, kids.
Oh,
gotta
yeah,
get
the
up for the
kids, too.
school and
Yeah, that'll do it. First job?
technically, my first job, I picked blueberries. It's the first time I remember earning money for work. First real job, I think I was a disc jockey at a little non-alcoholic teenage bar. I know it sounds real bad, but it's just a teenage dance club that they didn't sell booze at. It was my
That's
first
fun.
job, I think, yeah.
Favorite movie or movies?
Favorite movie or movies? Tommy Boy has always been one of my favorites.
Is
God,
that
I just had this top 5 the other day with somebody. Step Brothers, maybe. It's in the top 5. Step Brothers.
is Tommy Boy Adam Sandler?
That was Chris Farley.
Chris Farley.
Yeah.
Right. Favorite song to play on guitar?
My favorite song is, you probably got to be an easy one. I like playing If I Could Only Fly, the old Merle Haggard song, Blaze Foley song.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee, all day, every day, all day. Right before bedtime, too.
Oh, doesn't keep you
Yeah.
up?
Oh, no.
So
Calms me.
no decaf?
No.
Favorite superhero?
Favorite superhero, golly.
They get harder.
I could just say anything, and it's
You
somewhere there's a superhero in there, like cameraman. I'm sure there's a cameraman.
Nowadays,
Where's the
yes.
cape? Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. My favorite used to be Iron Man a long time ago. Before it was cool. No, I don't
You
know.
were cool before cool was
Yeah.
cool.
Before everybody liked it. No.
Guitar or drums?
I play guitar. Yeah. I bought my daughter a pair of a drum set,
Oh, yeah?
and I play on that sometimes. But I make fun of myself. I act like I'm in my own band. I'm like, oh, this is
Does
I'm a dork. I do
Does she
something
play
like that.
too?
Better than me.
Really?
She's 9. Yeah.
Wow, good for her. Summer or winter?
I'm a winter guy.
Okay.
I like winter
Really?
sports. Like the culmination of college football and NFL and everything like that.
All right, I'll give
But I
that
do
to
like
you.
baseball too, so I like summer a little.
Favorite drink?
Favorite drink? The perfect amount of sugar and tea and ice. That is my favorite drink. When it's done correctly, a sweet tea is the best drink.
There you go. You're a Southern boy. Worst subject in school?
Ooh, all of them.
I knew you were going to say that.
Actually, the ones that I had the most trouble with were the ones that required the most reading. So I did really well at math and really well at science and history and stuff. But I think like English, literature, things like that, I did really bad at.
Okay. Cats or dogs?
Dogs. Yeah. No offense to cat lovers, but dogs all day.
Favorite food?
My favorite food. Again, it's one of those. If the brisket is done perfect, then brisket is hard to beat for me.
That's really good. First thing you notice about someone when you meet them?
Usually the way they smell, and I don't know
really?
why, but that is, usually I can remember that person smelled like that, or this person smelled like that.
Really?
Usually that's the first impression.
Hopefully it's not bad.
No,
That's-
if it was bad, I'd be like,
Okay.
let's see, what's the first impression?
You'll know if he leaves.
That's right.
You'll know what's going on here.
Huh.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Oh,
Tough one.
lucky. I would say very, very fortunate. And boy, 3 words.
It's hard,
No,
huh?
this is really. Describe your life in 3 words.
Crazy.
Not convicted.
Free.
I don't know. 3 words. Jeez.
All right, we could pass. We don't have to do
Yeah.
that one. City or country?
Sorry.
City or country?
Country.
Last Halloween costume.
My last Halloween costume. I was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with my wife.
Were you peanut butter or jelly?
I was peanut butter.
And
yeah.
she was jelly?
And she was jelly.
That's cute. Steak or lobster?
Steak all day. Yeah.
Most used emoji when you're texting somebody.
Fist bump. Yeah.
Who inspires you?
My wife inspires me, and I know that's not just a gushy thing to say, but she does inspire me.
That's great.
I have a problem with controlling my emotions, and it seems like something I always have to work on throughout my entire life. And I just am in awe of somebody like her having control of their emotions at all times and never giving in to some of the stuff that I would give into. So I'm always inspired by her ability to hold it together and not be emotional. And like I said, it inspires me every day. I'm like, how do I not lose my stuff and look like the idiot today?
Under any circumstance, she's
Today
cool.
is the day that I'm going to be the one that doesn't look like the
You're
idiot.
not going to look like an idiot. That's good. That's very nice. I'm sure she'll love hearing that.
Ah,
Do you tell her every day? You should.
I don't tell her that.
Tell her other things.
I don't tell her that.
What's something fans would be surprised to learn about you, to know about, that they probably don't know?
Well, that would kind of ruin the surprise, wouldn't it?
It would.
If I told them now, it would ruin it.
Then you wouldn't be able to say that again at another question.
I don't know. I don't know that anymore that I don't have any secrets, really.
Everything's out on
Everything's out there. Social media's ruined all that stuff for everybody.
Right?
You don't know nothing about
There's
me.
no mystery behind you guys
That's
anymore.
right.
Cardinals or Yankees?
Oh, Cardinals.
I know. I threw that in there for
Oh,
you.
yeah. Big St. Louis
You're a
Cardinals.
big fan. You
Yeah.
still follow them?
Absolutely. Yes. Through good and the bad,
Yeah.
then mediocre. A lot of mediocre.
How
yeah.
was last year? I didn't follow, so how'd they do last year?
They made it to the playoffs,
Okay.
and see this most recent season they made it to the playoffs into that one and done game, and they lost the one and done game. And the year before that, they made it into the divisional round or wild card round or whatever that is, and they lost to the oh goodness, I forgot. I think the Nationals beat them the year before.
So there's some hope there for you. They leave you with
No,
hope
I think they
each
do
season?
just enough to be mediocre and never bad. And then the next year you're like, if they just add a piece or two, and they just never add the piece or two. And they get one piece or two short.
So what do they look like for 2022? Good, you think, or?
I think they're going to have a
Same.
new manager, and they're going to be really good. It's just the same questions they always have, which is, where's your ace? Jack Flaherty is going to be your ace. You need probably a number 2 guy that can be a for sure ace. So you're going to have to spend some money, and you're going to have to realize the talent you have in the farm system is waiting to come up in places that you already have players. So third base, first base, you got studs coming up through the farm.
Yep.
Go trade those guys for a today pitcher, or bring up your pitchers from the farm. So do all those things. I think you got a really good team.
I think you should manage them.
I'm waiting on their call.
open?
I dropped them a card in the mail and said, hey, look, I'm available. I'm available, especially during this COVID downtime. I'm like, I can pick your team apart.
There you go. I think they need you. I'm just saying.
If the world ran my way, it'd be a mess.
But it could be
bigger
fun.
mess.
It might be fun.
Might be fun. It might be fun.
Well, I think we know you a little better now. How do you feel?
I hope
about
so.
that?
I feel like, yeah.
I feel like everybody knows everything about Joe because you had no surprises for them.
That's exactly
so
right.
I think
Free.
We know
Good
it
to
all.
be free.
So I want to get into the meat and bones of it. We'll go back into the early part of your career. What actually got you into music, and why did you want to start playing music?
When I was a little boy, I would watch my father play music. He was a country musician, like Merle. He liked Marty Robbins. He liked Lefty, and loved like old Southern rock, like Marshall Tucker and Leonard Skinner and things like that too. So I got a good mix of that at the house, of Merle and swing country and also rock country, and it was I watched him play music. I watched him and my grandfather playing music. They played on the weekends. We'd have these big get-togethers where you'd have 5 or 6 different families come over to my grandparents' house, and all their kids, and they'd sit around, toss the guitars back and forth, and just till about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. If nobody got into a fist fight, everybody'd still be playing music and passing around the whiskey and whatnot. And I just grew up watching them and knew that they had so much talent. I figured that maybe I could do this. Maybe I picked up a little of their talent, and I sure loved their passion for it. And so as the years went on, I was in clubs with my dad when he'd go play these little, what he called beer joints, and shouldn't have been there at all. I shouldn't have been there.
Was it that 18 and under club?
Oh
that
yeah,
you-
man. I was probably 8 or 9 years old. I was dancing with like 80-year-old ladies and doing the stuff up there, and doing two-stepping. And there was beer bottles everywhere flying all over. It was just really kind of a wild scene.
Yeah.
I
Kind of like Roadhouse?
shouldn't have been. It was like Roadhouse, less violence.
Okay,
It's just more just kind of obscenity. Just kind of cussing and nudity and it's just,
That's fun.
And so I watched that, and I thought, well, who doesn't want to be a part of this the rest of their life? This is where I want to be, playing music with beer everywhere and people doing all kinds of stupid things. So I just fell in love with music early on. I always wanted to be a musician. I always wanted to do this for the rest of my life.
That's interesting. So your dad played, did he sing as well? And
He did. Yeah, he was a great singer. Great singer. I wish I had more recordings of him at this age. He died fairly young, but yeah, he was a great singer.
That's awesome. So do you think it's harder now for people to break in the business than it was either back then or even when you started?
I don't know if it's harder. I think today social media gives you an opportunity to not have to walk into an office and get approval first.
Right.
So a lot of times these buildings in Nashville can, a guy can sit behind a desk and say, you can have a career, you can't have a career, you can have a career. And with social media, with YouTube, with followings happening on playlists and whatnot, you can bypass that guy at that desk. And you can say, well, the fans, 60,000 of them or 100,000 of them or 1 million of them, they said I can have a career doing this. And I don't need you getting fat behind a desk telling me whether I'm talented or not. They do.
Yep.
So that's what the beautiful thing of today is. If you're an artist, there's so many more opportunities, and you can avoid so many of the webs that are created in the music industry that just catch people and filter them out for no reason. I mean, there's so many talented people that have walked through a building and for whatever reason didn't get a fair shake, and had they come out in this world, would have probably gotten a lot more fair shot.
I mean, you can go down to Broadway and go into any bar, and
Absolutely.
the talent is unbelievable in this town. They just don't get the shot because of that fat cat sitting behind the desk. But
it's those weird, it's not unlike Hollywood. I imagine Hollywood's the same way. There's a lot of buildings there that have people that in any other walk of life would be absolutely useless to the world, but in that position, they hold a position of power, and they decide whether a talented person can explore their talent and share their talent with the world. And most of the time, those people get rich and they have no talent themselves, and they're just mean, ugly people, and I don't like them.
There you go. You heard it here.
That's right.
So
and
do you think
you want to fight about it?
Bring it on. So do you think it's easier in some way? I don't know if easy is the word or just more opportunities.
I would think it's fair. It's more fair in that way. Easier, I don't know, because there's so many people that put out new music every day, and there's so much to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
There's thousands of artists that put out new music every day, and it's just a lot of content to go through. So I think it's more fair. I don't know about easier.
Right. So you mentioned that your dad played, you sing. How about your daughters? Do you think they'll get into any talent there?
They all three sing, but I tell them all the same thing. Once you finish out all of your schooling, you go through all of high school, all of your college, as far as you want to go in college, whether it be, 4 years, 8 years, however long you want to go, that's how you go. And at the end of that, at the end of all your education, if your mind still tells you you want to be a singer, then I'll help you. I'll worry about you, but I'll help you at that point.
You don't really want them to, but you'll have
That's
to.
right. I just, for reasons I just kind of explained, just there's a lot of things in the music business that you just, it takes a certain type of person to be able to handle some of that stuff, and I don't want them touching my sweet little innocent girls. I don't want to go to prison.
But we don't want to see that. But they can all sing. They're all talented.
They're all talented. Yeah,
That's great.
They all love. One's a really talented singer. The other are all talented singers.
Yeah.
But one's just about the music and the singing, and then one on this hand's about the performing. I'm about singing, but about giving you a performance. Here I am. Yeah. Gonna sing you, let it go, let it go.
Oh, there it is.
They kind of get into the performing of it. So, yeah, they're all talented, though.
That's fun. So who were you listening to back then when you were growing up? And
Hank Williams Jr. and Merle Haggard.
Oh, there you go.
I was 7.
The traditional country.
When I was 7, I remember having Hank Williams Jr.'s first greatest hits album, and I thought, this is the best album that's ever been made. It's a family tradition. Whiskey Bent and Hellbound was my favorite at 7 years old. That was one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
I like to play music and have good times.
Were you singing that at 7?
Yes, absolutely, I was.
Nice.
I actually, I've told this story before, but one of the first times I ever sang in public was at church. I must have been 5 or 6 years old. We went to a church in St. Louis, and new church, fairly big congregation. But it was one of those where the pastor, was leading people in hymns, and he said, now listen, if somebody wants to lead us in a song, just raise your hand or stand up and lead us and we'll follow along. Your favorite song. I thought he said song. I'm like, I've got a song right here. This guy. And I did this.
No, you did not.
All right, young man, stand up. And I went into rednecking, love making night. And I'm looking, and it's dawning on me, oh no. Everybody's laughing. My parents are just doing the, oh my God, I'm in trouble. I'm in so much trouble. We never went to that church again. My brother didn't go to church with me for a long time after that.
He was embarrassed?
Very embarrassed, yeah.
Did you get in trouble after?
Not like a talking to, but it was more like a, well, that happened. That's gonna be a memory forever.
Yep.
We'll never go to that church again. They probably think we're a bunch of rednecks that just have our kids just blaring Conway Twitty instead of gospel hymns. Heathens.
That's hilarious. But
Kind of true, but
it gives you a good story to tell too.
it was a good story. It wasn't funny there for a while though. It was serious stuff.
True that. So what about today? Anybody catch your eye today that you're listening to? Today's music? And do you
well-
just listen to country, or do you listen to everything?
I don't listen to a lot of music, nowadays. I like some things. There's a guy named Jordan. What's it? Buy Dirt. Is it Jordan?
Jordan Davis.
Davis.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that song. It reminds me of
Yeah.
my wife's father. He was a land developer and just kind of had that old salt of the earth kind of philosophies and great man. And,
Yeah.
And so that's the most recent thing I heard, and I went, I love that right there. Some of the newer things that are pretty country, that's the ones I usually like.
More traditional stuff.
Yeah.
Is there anyone you want to collaborate with that you haven't yet?
Well, Dolly Parton.
Oh.
I actually
Number one.
I say she just put out an album, and we did a duet on her new album, and on the novel.
Yes.
The novel thing, and this is the second time I did a duet with her. So that was like my number one on my bucket list as far as doing a duet.
So you've reached it.
So that got there, and now I got Blake on this
Yeah.
on this album. That was a pretty cool deal. I always wanted to do that. I think that's it.
Cool.
I don't know.
So you've done
Maybe
it.
call up George Strait. Say, man, come out of retirement a little bit, sing a song on with me.
Maybe he will.
Maybe he will.
You never know. You
Hey,
listening, George?
Wouldn't hurt to call. Yeah.
Yeah. Never hurts. I want to check in with Catherine, see if there's any questions from our viewers, if they have anything for you.
We do. We
Okay.
have fans in the chat from everywhere, from Texas, Wisconsin, Germany.
All right.
Germany.
Yes.
Wow. Welcome.
Yeah, one fan wants to know, this is XX Jordan XX. How do you think country music has changed since the late 90s to today?
Ooh, that is an interesting question. The late 90s, I think we were kind of on the front end of a lot of digital help. There were some things that could be tuned and fixed somewhat. So I think you had a lot of slick records coming out of LA, coming out of New York, but in Nashville particularly, you had a lot of twangy singers that weren't like really trained vocalists. So we learned to start slicking up or tuning up our twang a little bit, late 90s, early 2000s. Slick records, very polished records. For fast forward from the late 90s to here, I think we've taken it to another level as far as percussion, as far as making the record not necessarily about a vocalist or a story. It's more about the big picture of the record. So the production of the record is the star, not necessarily who's singing it, or who wrote it, but the production. How many things can we have going on in a track? And that track itself will be the star. And that's kind of the biggest difference I've seen is, 90s country had much more of a storytelling quality, not only to the song, but to the artist. There was story in the artist. And today I think the story is the track itself. How far can we go with the track? How deep can we build it? How many bells and whistles can we use? How many things can we distract you with from the story that probably isn't really much of a story? It's more of a kind of a get me by lyric, a ooh la la or a la 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 or a BBB, stuff like that. You're not really saying anything, you're just getting through the track. So that's
Interesting.
I know that's a very convoluted answer, but I think that's what happened. We were on the slick edge of technology, of the front end of technology, and we've made it to now it's all about the technology. It helped records then, now it is the record.
That's
if that makes
interesting.
sense.
Yeah, it does. I've never thought of it that way. So that's a good explanation. Do we have anything else, Catherine?
We do. We've got a lot of questions.
Okay, good.
Another one from Mickey Rules 123. They want to know, what is one of your favorite songs that you wrote that you sing?
My favorite songs that I wrote that I sing. I wrote one called Just a Little More. It was on my third record, I think, Just a Little More. And it's about having kind of an addictive mentality, addictive personality, about something never being enough. I could have the best of this and it would not be enough. I need just a little more. So it's one of those I wrote in about 20 minutes, and I walked in and did a little acoustic demo, and I think I cut it 2 days later and made the record, and one of my favorite things on that album. So one of those very personal songs to me.
Want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do another one. We've
Okay.
got one more. C. Naft Anil 1. I think I butchered that one.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, I think I butchered that one. They want to know, what songs off of your new album will have music videos?
Oh, that's a good question. I think so far we have Home Run, and I believe we'll be doing something for Good Day for Living. I really want the Blake thing. I want that to happen. You know, I
That'd be
think
fun.
it's a fun collaboration on this album. I think Blake did a great job, and I think that song just is kind of made for having fun on the radio, and I think that'd make a good video. So maybe 3 or 4, maybe more if we get a little time and some road footage of singing those songs.
Cool. Well, I had asked about collaborations, and we just talked about Blake prior to this because I wanted to get into your new album, Good Day for Living, out
Okay.
February 11th.
February 11th, yeah, right before Valentine's Day. You can buy this February 11th and then put it on the table as you give her some roses.
There you go.
There you go.
Done. You don't have to think
Just
of
the
a
album.
present. Yeah.
That's right.
It's all good. But I wanted to get into Blake Shelton. You did sing the song that Blake is on. How did that come about? How did you guys hook? I know you've been friends. You guys came up together in the business. How did you just call him and say, get on this song with me?
Yeah. Well, essentially, you know, over the years, we've known each other for 22 or 23 years.
Yeah.
23 years. And over the years, we've kind of played tag on that. Like, he'll have an album he's working on, and I'm having something that I've already done, and we're just putting it out the radio. So being a part of something, a duet, it's kind of always
Yes.
felt like it's off.
Yep.
Our timing has
Yep.
been off, and so we've always wanted to do something. It made total sense. We've known each other a long time. We know how big of idiots we are each other. So, with this song, I got this song called "Friends That Do," and I'm like, man, it feels like a hit. I went and cut it. It was mine. It felt like a single immediately. I'm like, man, let me call Blake and just see what he says. Like, hey, you listen to the song, and if you like it, it's already done. But if you like it, you can throw a vocal on here, and we'll make this a duet. But no pressure, whatever you want to do. And he wrote me back. He's like, absolutely love it. Let's do it.
Oh, great.
And I was like, all right, well, let's get it on the phone. And we got on the phone. We started talking about it. And he went to the studio and lived with it for a bit and got it back to me. And I'm like, man, it sounded like a hit before, but now it really sounds like a hit.
Yeah.
You know, when he comes in there and it just
Really
kind of
is.
has a lot of energy, a lot of fun.
Do you think that'll be released as a single?
I'm hoping that's the next one after Good Day for Living.
Okay.
I hope that's how this is going to go. So
Oh, good.
in a perfect world, yeah.
That'll be great. But I do have one question about that song. Did Blake end up buying in the end? I know you don't drink, but maybe dinner or something.
That is a terrible question. He never buys anything. No,
I knew it. I knew
I
it.
take that back now.
I'm just kidding. So this is Good Day for Living, your first album in 4 years. Why the wait? What took so long, besides the pandemic?
Yeah, just a lot of things happened at one time, you know. My last deal, I was on Red Bow Records, was started by a man named Benny Brown, and Benny left the business to care for his sick wife. She was very ill, and when he sold his label, you know, I kind of came with the furniture to the new owners of the house, you know, and it was
Okay.
kind of one of
Yep.
those. I don't know you very well. We haven't spent time around each other, and I know that you're, you know, the people that took over. I know you're not all that big of country fans. Probably not going to be a big fan of mine. So I kind of
Gotcha.
saw the writing on the wall that it was going to take a lot of time
Yeah.
to build a relationship there with new ownership, and it's something that I don't think I was interested in, and I don't think they were interested in it either. And so we let that dissolve, and that takes a little while to kind of untangle, you know, like a marriage does. It just take
Yeah.
a little while. And by that time, 2019-ish, 1920, we're kind of starting to talk about what we do next, and then the pandemic hit. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So nobody can see anybody. We can't really
Yeah.
get, you know, anything done. I went in the studio and did some things on my own just to kind of fill my time and just see what I wanted to do for this next project. And then Benny Brown called me. He said, you know, I want to get back in the business. I want to start another label. I'm going to start a brand new one, ground up, and I want you to be on my label.
That's fantastic.
And I was like, put me in, coach. Let's go.
Quartz Hill.
And he created Quartz Hill, and there we go. We started making a record. We found a couple of songs to go with the handful that we already had in our back pocket, and Benny found a bunch of great songs, including Hawaii on Me and Friends That Do, and Good Day for Living. Derek George got that one, but they come from everywhere. But Benny's a great song, man.
That's fantastic. We're going to actually take a break right now, and then we'll be back with more with Joe Nichols. Welcome back to Off the Record Live with Joe Nichols. Prior to the break, we were talking about his new album, Good Day for Living, which is out February 11th. Another plug again.
All right, February 11th.
But I wanted to get into your producer, Mickey Jack Cohen's, who you're reunited with. He did Crickets, and he did Never Too Old.
Right. Never Too Old, yeah.
And now you're back with him. So what's that dynamic like? What's that relationship like with him?
Well, we have a trust in the studio. I love Mickey. He's so high energy. He thinks about all aspects of the business. Some producers get stuck in, I want to produce thinking this. I want to produce making this this ballad the most pensive ballad ever. Or I want to produce this and make it just rock it out. But I think Mickey encompasses a lot of things. He knows the business, and he knows these things probably will not work in a greater sense. You know, this might be a good album cut, or this might need a lot of time because, you know, Hawaii on Me is a very emotional song, so you might need to spend a lot of time on the vocal because that's the star of that track. But we have this trust in the studio that I think he knows what buttons to push of mine to get the most effect out of me, what's most effective for me, and I think he knows my limits. I think he knows, you know, when I don't think I can do something, I think he's like, I'm pretty sure you can, and he'll pull up something and go, here's that note you sang in this song, da 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 da. And he's like, now do it on this one. And I'm like, man, I can't get out of it.
Yep.
So I can totally kind of sometimes be lazy, and he kind of cracks a whip a little bit. But like I said, he knows how to be heavy-handed and at the same time knows when to not push.
Yeah. And you have a mix of songs on this album. You've got ballads, you've got some dance songs, and some uplifting songs.
By dance songs, you mean country dance songs?
Yes.
Not.
No, not.
We got some dance
We're
songs
not going
on
to
this
the club.
record.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's an hour and a half long.
I figure everybody knows you're the most traditional guy in country music. So
you never know. People do crazy things.
That's
2022.
true. And there's a pandemic, so
That's
I mean,
right.
who knows what's
That's
going to
right.
happen? But yeah, so you've got a mix of it all. And is that on purpose? Do you look to mix it up, or did these songs just fall into your lap and you're like, let's put this on?
Well, I think definitely when you start, you know, getting through the first half of the record and you start recording, if we're going to go for maybe 15 songs, you know, cut back a few, when we're 7 songs in the recording process, you're like, all right, we got 5 here that are gonna make this album, that are really good, possibly 3 or 4 singles in that 5. What do we need for the record though? We don't really have anything that's just energy, straight energy. When you listen to it, you don't want to skip. It's just, I'm driving to work or whatever it is, energy. Or we don't have a dance, or we don't have a ballad, we don't have a love song. Maybe we don't have one that's, I don't care, it's a beer at the lake. Some of those things, like, you get a good feel for about halfway through the production process. And then you start gathering the songs that you have in the top desk drawer. And the last tracking session we had 6 or 7 songs we went in with, and they all made the record. We felt great about, but we had some extra time at the end of that. And we got the song the night before. Derek George did, co-producer with Mickey Jackson.
Yes.
Got this song the night before, and it was Good Day for Living. He said, man, I got this last night, and I like it. If we had some extra time today, you against cutting this?
Wow.
I didn't even know it. They had to call the guy that did the demo to come in and sing the guide track, to sing the scratch track. And I was like, this feels great. It feels really, really, really good. But I don't know any of the words, and I'm going to hold up the musicians here if we're just stumbling over me trying to learn the song. So dude came in, got with the band, sang the track along with the band, and I was like, this feels like a hit. This feels so good. And so we kind of got lucky. It was like a really great 24 hours.
Yeah, the last song, and then you end up naming the album that.
Right, album title, and it's the single, man. I think it feels really good.
Yeah. Well, you are known as the most traditional guy in country music, like I said before, one of them. So let's talk more about Good Day for Living. What can fans expect from it? Is it similar to your past albums? Is it different? What are we getting out of this?
It is similar to the past albums, a lot of past albums I've done. I'd say it's probably similar to Crickets, where it's got a little bit of a lot of stuff. Even similar to some of my older albums, like Revelation and a couple of those. Well, maybe not Revelation. That was pretty heavily traditional, a little dark even. But it's got a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun on this record. It sounds country to me. We have songs like 1 2 Step Closer, which is an old kind of Neon Moon cha-cha,
Yeah.
little bit feeling song, that old steel guitar. A lot of country dancing, like you said, in this album, which is really cool, kind of throwback to the 90s stuff. And some really moments like Hawaii on Me that are just kind of sit and chill and listen to this, 3 or 4 minutes, puts you in a mood. We've got some fun stuff on there. Got some subtle digs like Broken Hearted. It'll probably ruffle some people, but it's funny. It's just all in fun.
You got to ruffle some people
That's
sometimes.
exactly right. We got some powerful stuff. We got some good messages in there, and I think Good Day for Living is to me, man, it's about time for some positivity, isn't it?
Yes.
Couldn't we all just use a little bit of good? You
That's,
know what I mean?
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's one of my favorite songs. Hawaii on Me is the other one. But Good Day for Living, it's just positive. And in these times that we're living in.
Right. I think that's why Ted Lasso is so popular because he's just a positive show, a positive message and everything. And I think we need more of that. I think people are hungry for positivity.
Absolutely. And you're going to give it to them.
That's right. Whether they like it or not.
It's coming your way.
That's right. You're just get some positivity.
But you have a knack for doing country songs that also get played on radio. Country has changed a lot on radio as far as going from traditional 90s to kind of pop, if we're speaking honestly. But you come out with these songs that as soon as you hit play, it's a traditional country album, but yet you still get played on radio and it fits somehow. Is there a method to that, or is it just you?
I think honestly, I think the way I understand the production process is they try to make something that fits, that's not so, you put it next to a Taylor Swift record, you're not going to go, why is that in the same room?
Right.
So you try to make the production somewhat close to what's contemporary, not loops and gadgets and whistles and bangs, and not all that, but something that sounds like it's done in the same equipment, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
The licks are a little countrier. There's more steel guitar. There's a little more fiddle. The singing the background singing is more country, twangy.
Yeah.
The instruments, the lead guitars, all these things are just a country version of the same stuff people are doing. But I think we look at it like the way I sing, the way I'm limited to singing, I can't sing pop and I can't make it poppier. If we did a super traditional bluegrass song, I couldn't make it sound more rocky edge. But what I can do is make a rocky edge kind of sound more country.
Okay.
So that's kind of the approach we make. Just make it sound like it was made in the same room as a Taylor Swift record.
Right.
But with steel guitars and fiddles and some lonesome harmony singers, and then I'll go put my country part in there, and
Your voice.
it'll smell a little bit like chicken litter in there, but
Hey, it works.
that's
Makes
country right
sense.
there,
There it
chicken
is.
litter.
Catherine, I want to check in with you. Do we have some questions from the viewers?
We do. We've got one from the Clark Knight who wants to know, how does one go about getting started in the music business?
Well,
Boy.
boy, 10 years ago, I would have had a much different and much better answer than I have today. I think today, as far as I understand it, there is really no organic, let me back up. I would say to anybody that wants to be a part of Nashville, you have to first move to Nashville. There's really not a lot you can do to be a part of the community here, when the community here really does make a lot of decisions, and I'm not talking about the one guy behind the desk.
Right.
But there's a community of people here in Nashville, an entire community of people that can help you in the smallest and biggest of ways. So if you want to be a musician, a Nashville country musician, move to Nashville. That's the first step. Mm-hmm. Second step is write. Write all time. Write at all times. Write everything you feel, everything you think. Run it by people. It'll probably be terrible sometimes, and that's okay. But keep writing, keep singing. And today, it seems like today, if you get your social media numbers up, you get some awareness, you get visible. You make it harder for any kind of label or anybody with power in Nashville to say no to you. So if you walk into an office with $1 million in your pocket and say, I can leave here with it, or I can let you participate, it's really hard for a place in Nashville to say, no thanks. So you have the leverage. So I would suggest doing those things.
And you write, but you don't use a lot of your songs. Why is that?
Yeah, I don't write good enough. Well, like I said, the last thing I wrote, I thought, this is pretty good. I was going to cut it for this record. It's a song called Judas. I wrote it with a friend of mine who's actually on The Voice. Yep. And it was a really good song, and I went to go cut, and I'm like, I don't even think it fits. I don't even think it sounds like a country song. It sounds more like like an Americana kind of song, really, to me. So that's why I didn't cut it. It was a really good song, though, if anybody wants to cut
an Americana band. Do you think it'll be on another album coming up, or no?
I don't think it sounds right for me.
Okay.
Like I said, I think it's Mumford and Sons kind of sound, and I know that's kind of weird coming from me, but that's the way we wrote it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catherine, any more?
Yes, we've got another one from a user called Lovebug who wants to know, what is your ideal or favorite guitar?
Ooh, I got a Martin D28. That is my favorite. It's so soft. It just feels like the guitar plays itself. It sounds so big, so good, so warm. And believe it or not, I got a Takamine at home that I really love too. It's about the closest thing to that Martin that I've played. And on the road, whatever's durable. I have a couple of things that are really durable because they go through a lot on the road and in and out of cases. On the stage, we got a lot of energy stuff on stage. I've cracked several of them around here around the body. So I play a Breedlove, play a big body Gibson with jumbo, and trying to think of some of the other ones. Yes, that's good. And a big body Takamine out there as well.
Any more? One more.
We can ask more.
Let's do one more.
The fans want to know. The fans want to know. So we've got one from Knackle3 who wants to know, what's your vocal warm-up routine?
It's very weird. It's very weird. It's hard to explain.
Okay, next question. No.
You start off trying to talk like Elmer Fudd. That's what I start off. Start with this voice right here, and I get stronger. And you really have to make an effort to stay in an Elmer Fudd voice, because eventually your voice will actually just kind of naturally come together, and it will start warming up and the things will start vibrating together. So a friend of mine taught me this. Said just start as long as you can, and your voice will on its own, and that's when you're getting your voice warm. So you don't have to I don't do that.
Yeah.
I do the Elmer Fudd, and it warms up, and then you hit notes. You hear different notes, all these different notes and everything. When you warm all of them up, that way I'm usually warm without wrecking my voice, where I feel like I've sung a show already before I go on stage. So that's my warm up.
That's interesting. Can you feel a difference in it when it gets warmed
I
up?
will never warm up a different way. I used to
Really?
do the alphabet and the la
Yep.
la 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 dee 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 dee. I used to do all that all the time, and by the end of a warm up, 10, 15 minutes later, I felt like I'm 5, 6 songs into a show and
Yeah.
gets kind of fatigued.
That's amazing.
Thank you. That's Brian. By the way, Brian that was sitting here playing.
Oh, yeah?
Brian's the one who showed me that trick for the first time. Yeah.
Credit
I was
to
like,
Brian.
all the vocal coaches out there, that dude made the most sense right there. Painting houses.
Maybe we should hire him for vocal
That's
coaching.
right. He's great
A
at it.
new gig. So the single that you led with, Home Run, out now, why did you pick that one to be the lead to represent the album?
I felt like the message was right. You know, we all need to hit a home run right now. Everybody, the world is just, it's like there's this fog that everybody's just now kind of trying to see out of. And the message of the song is life has just gone nuts. Everything's happened crazy. I don't know whether to take the good with the bad. I don't know what's happening. So what I need to do is go back and catch home base. My home base is my home and my
Yep.
kids and my family, my mother, the people and places that I grew up around at my home. You know, that's what I need right now. I really need to touch base with home. And so I thought the message was was good for now. You know, we all need a little bit of sanity, and I think sanity rests in here when you get back to who you really are, your basic who you are.
Absolutely.
And so I thought, like I said, that was important for me. I thought the baseball puns was kind of natural, but the video I think was the most special part of that. Being able to shoot a video with my kids, my wife, my mother, my sister.
Where'd you shoot that?
We shot it here in Nashville.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, they got to ride the big bus all the way to Nashville, got makeup done, and got prettied up, and then
Felt
shot a
special.
professional music video.
Nice.
Yeah.
They could put that on their resume.
Oh yeah.
When they become big singers.
They've already they're braggers. They went to school and like, check me out. The country music video. I don't know if you saw me.
Show and tell.
That's right. If anybody got a TV screen in here we can pull up or see me on the video? We can.
That's so cute.
Yeah, they're adorable.
Do you have a favorite on the album? A favorite? I know everybody says they're all their babies, but is there ones that stand out that?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know if I have a favorite that I go, this one's my favorite of this bunch. I like them all in different ways. A Good Day for Living puts me in a good mood. That makes me feel good.
Yeah.
The message is good. I can hear myself smiling. I remember what I was thinking when I was singing, and I can hear my smile when I was singing too. And I think that's hard to get from me sometimes because I tend to lean the other way. Hawaii on Me is supposed to be a little lighter
Yeah.
than I made it. It's supposed to be a little playful and funny, but I kind of made it a very serious song and very, that's usually what I do with a song.
Okay.
So with Good Day for Living, I went the other way. And with I can hear myself smile, and it makes me feel like I'm in a good mood and cheers me up, and that's unusual for me. Usually,
That's funny you said that.
I can bring a room down pretty quick. Have you heard this album? It's about dying. It's about dying. A lot of dying on this record. And I don't know if I told you.
That's funny because Hawaii on Me, when I was listening to it and it started, it's so, you do start off, your vocals obviously are powerful, but it's dark and it's slow.
Yeah.
And then as I'm listening to the lyrics, I'm like, this is hilarious.
Supposed to be funny, guys. This guy.
Like, I love this song. I'm going to Hawaii after somebody dies.
Yeah.
But it's funny that you said this is what I was thinking. I remember what I was thinking for Good Day for Living, because I wanted to go through a couple of your older songs and just give me an anecdote or a memory about those songs. Broken Heartsville. Anything you remember about that? Or?
Broken Heartsville. That was, when you get in the zone, when you do something, whatever it is you're doing, whether it's writing or whatever your task is, when you're working out, anything like that, when you say, man, right now for 20 minutes, I can't be stopped. That's the day in the studio when I did Broken Heartsville. I did about 6 or 7 or 8 vocals that day, which is unheard of. That's a lot of singing because you have to sing each one 30, 40 times. Excuse me. So I remember being Broken Heartsville was probably 4 songs in, getting late in the day. I'd sing a lot, and it was just like, roll it, just roll tape, let's just go. Started singing. I think I did 3 or 4 passes. And Brent's like, I think we got it. Like I think that's a hit. I think we're done. We've got it. I'm like, you sure? Because some of these are really hard. And there's a couple songs of Man with a Memory that took me months. And this one's 3 or 4 passes. I'm like, are we just trying to get done fast? And he's like, no, let's move to the next song. While you're in this voice, let's keep doing it. And I did like 2 or 3 after that. And it was like, boom, boom, boom. They were all done. Wow. And we had the album done on time. That was amazing.
First time ever?
First time, yeah. So that's what I remember about that song. It went so quick in the studio. I remember the players were excited about it. I remember I did the vocal very fast. And I remember when I heard it the first time, I'm like, that's a hit. That's a big old hit.
You knew it.
Had no idea it would be like sustained time hit. I didn't know it would carry on for 20 years now,
Yeah.
and still hear it on the radio. You know, that's kind of odd, but I knew that we had one there when I first heard it.
Yeah, right off the bat. And one in here that these guys like, I know, Tequila Makes Your Clothes Fall Off.
I got to tell you, not a lot of people, not everybody was crazy about Tequila Makes Your Clothes Fall Off.
Really?
Well, you kind of got to remember this is 2005.
Okay.
There was, at the label, I think there was some hesitation because it could possibly be offensive to women. It was, you know, about about women getting naked. The label was based here. I countered with, actually, if you listen to the song, it's fun. It's about her. It's not about a guy checking her out. It's about her habits, and they're actually not as bad as they
And
sound.
what she
It's
does,
about
right.
her and how the funny stuff that she does.
Yep.
It suggests that she's naked, but no, she's just kind of losing stuff. 'Cause
Some
she gets
stuff
a little,
falling off. Yep.
a little drunk.
Yep.
It's not a guy, you know, checking out a girl.
Objectifying her.
Yes, that's it's everything in New York City. And he said, they just played Tequila Makes Your Clothes Fall Off. That station had so much weight that the song charted on a pop chart, but having played that one spin at that one morning show.
That one radio station.
One radio station, New York City's
God, it's
#1 top 40 station. That one spin, and it charted.
Oh
and I was like,
God.
you gotta be kidding me. And I listened, I'm like, oh, they're gonna make fun of me. They're gonna get on there, the DJs are gonna be, listen to this crap. Who puts stuff like this out at radio? This country guys are so terrible. But that's not what they did. They were like, I dig that. That's awesome. And I was like, we got a hit.
You knew it.
We got a hit. If the guys in New York aren't making fun of me right now, and my own labels are okay with it, we got a hit, guys. We're going to do well. This is going to be a hit. It's going to connect. And it did, man. That thing popped.
That's
It took about
awesome.
17 weeks. It shot up the chart.
Fantastic. Love it. And last one, Sunny in 75.
Yeah. Man, on the list of songs that I did not want to do,
Really?
This is the top one.
Why?
Well, the story is, all right, Jason Sellers, I don't know how many people are familiar with Jason Sellers. Jason Sellers is one of the best songwriters and singers in Nashville. Had an artist deal in the 90s.
Yep.
And incredible singer. He sings really high, though. He's in that Vince Gill kind of range where he's a kind of a higher singer, but extremely talented. And as a matter of fact, nobody wants to follow him on his demos. When he'll sing these demos, and I'm like, and on Sunny in 75, I heard this track, and it was so pop. It was just so slamming, rockin' pop. And it was, everything was up here. It's like, Sunny at 75. And I'm like, oh God, I'll never pull this off. This is so out of character for me. So I went to the label, and they were like, this is a hit, Joe. You got to try this. And I'm like, it doesn't sound like me, though. And they're like, make it sound like you. I was like, okay, we'll see how this goes. And Benny, you know, great man. He said, look, if it's bad, and if you don't like it, and if it comes out weird or you know whatever, if it's not authentic, then nobody will ever have to hear it. It's totally fine.
Okay.
And so I was like, you know what? Let's do it. And we went in the studio and we grinded a little bit with this. Is a little bit of a grind at first, and then we kind of found a groove and, with the vocals having that very soft and crisp low part, you know, where almost speaking. And then you got to get where it's belting out here. And you got to do that without killing the engineer out here, doing it just right where it translates to tape. And so once we figured out all that, the track started coming together. Derek started playing some really cool guitar parts, and all of a sudden it became comfortable. And then we had a hit. We turned it in, and they're like, this is the first single. And we had Yeah already in the can. Yeah was done. Yeah, it felt like a hit. We were like, that's a hit. We just got to put it out. And they were like, let's come with Sunny in 75 first. We think that's a bigger introduction to the radio, and we'll follow it up with Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. We had 2 back-to-back number ones.
Number ones, yeah. Did you end up liking it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love singing that song now because I'm not afraid of it.
Yeah.
I was afraid of it when I first went in
You
there.
didn't know
Like,
how you
I'll
were
never sing this as good as Jason Sellers.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fall on my face here, but
You did pretty good.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Made it a hit. Well, I could talk to you for hours, and I could go
right.
on and on and on.
Yeah, let's
Oh, you got
talk more about me.
you got-
Hey, what do you guys think of me?
Another couple hours about Joe
Yeah.
Nichols. But we are out of time. We've had Joe for an hour, and thank you so much for coming in. It was a
That's
pleasure
my
chatting
pleasure.
with you.
Thank you.
And don't forget, you guys, Good Day for Living is out February 11th, if we have not said
That's
it
right.
enough.
February 11th. It's after the Super Bowl, but before Valentine's Day.
Good time for presents. And the single Good Day for Living is out January 31st, so check it out. And I want to thank Starstruck Entertainment for hosting us today. And I am Lisa Kanicki with American Songwriter, and we will see you next time.